Hi, it's Jackie Z here from 20-Second Card Clips. Just posting this video. It was an interview from Mark Lamia, just behind the storyline and everything, so I hope you enjoy.
Black Ops 2 is a direct sequel to Call of Duty Black Ops 1, which means you are going to find out and play with those characters that you played with from Call of Duty Black Ops from that first Cold War. But it is an epic game that spans generations. And in fact, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 takes place a little more than a decade out in the year 2025. And that's a time when we've seen prolific advancements in robotics and technology that'll change the battlefield forever. And you're going to experience this game as playing as David Mason, who's the son of Alex Mason from Black Ops 1. And you're going to be experiencing a fictional Cold War II that we've crafted, much in the same way that the approach that we've crafted our past in. We do a lot of work to create a very authentic past setting, and then we weave our fiction right through it. And so we've done that very same thing when we've set up our future scenario. We've worked with experts who've helped us set up a plausible Cold War scenario for the future, and has inspired us to come up with some very compelling story hooks that is going to keep the player engrossed in what our future fiction is. So not only are you going to have all the new tools of warfare in the battlefield that you're going to both be able to play with but have to deal with, you're also going to be having to go back in time in the first Cold War as we play as those original characters from Call of Duty Black Ops 1. And that is where you're going to meet our villain, who spans this entire time frame. And you're going to see how this three-dimensional villain, you're going to see how his motivations are created, and you're going to see just exactly what he's capable of in the future. So we go to really great lengths to make sure that our settings are plausible. This is Call of Duty, and when you say you're going to the future, that can conjure up all kinds of images, but it's Call of Duty, which means it has to be grounded and plausible. It's Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and in Black Ops, we really wanted to make sure that the historical fiction was plausible so that we could just set you in that, and then we tell our story and have you play through that fiction. And we did that exact same approach with Black Ops 2, and to do that we enlisted some experts, the kind of experts that advise world leaders right now on what they should be concerned about in the next decade. So yes, we're focused on what is going on in warfare in the future, and what's going on with advancements in robotics and technology, but we're also concerned with, just how is the world? What is the tension in the world? And to do this, we worked with a senior fellow from the Brookings Institute. His name is Peter Singer. And, he advises on not only drone warfare, but what the implications are of that reliance on that technology. He opened our eyes to the issues of cyber warfare and how that's going to affect the battlefield of the future, and how that can affect the fiction that we're creating. He also helped us come up with a fiction about an entirely new rare resource in the world that there's going to be conflict over. Whereas today we sit in 2012 and we know how significant of a role that something like petroleum oil plays in terms of geopolitical conflict and the conflicts that occur around the world and the tension that it creates when there are issues around that. He enlightened us to something called rare earth elements, which is now these things are at the core of everything from your smartphone and your tablet and your computer and some of your advanced electronics that you depend on not only for business but for your pleasure and things that you do and consume in your leisure time. But they're also ironically at the very heart of the technologies that we're looking to wean our dependence off of oil from. So hybrid car cell batteries, turbine technology, solar technologies, they all use this. And then interestingly enough, they're also necessary for a lot of our advanced military technologies. So advanced laser guidance systems, stealth, night vision, the drone technologies that are going to be advancing and proliferating. And so he's helped us create this very rich, plausible future fiction. And it just so happens that in the year 2012, one country controls about 95% or more of these rare earth elements production, and that's China, who will have its own needs as its population grows into the future. And what it's done is really provided us this wealth of real-life information to be able to create this plausible scenario 10 years out, and in fact set up what our second Cold War will be. When we're in the submission process for Black Ops, and for those of you who don't know, submission is kind of the final stage before the game goes to get replicated. Dave Anthony, who's our director, and David Goyer, who was working with us on our script and our story for Black Ops, started talking already about what they want. They were so excited and so energized about the story and the characters that we created and the fiction that we created for Black Ops, and they really wanted to kind of push it forward. And they wanted to work together again on sort of rewriting the book on how we tell stories in Black Ops and Call of Duty. And so they had a number of goals. Probably one of the most significant and challenging goals that they wanted to take on was that they wanted to create a three-dimensional villain character, and it's a unique challenge that we hadn't taken on. And working with somebody like David Goyer, who was the writer for Heath Ledger's Joker character in The Dark Knight, somebody who really understands the art of storytelling and character development, to be able to collaborate with someone like David Goyer really helped influence how we worked on our villain, our three-dimensional character, and that's going to manifest itself in the game in a very significant way. And when you're playing this game, the first part of the Cold War that you're going to experience, which is in the 1980s, is all about playing as those characters from Black Ops 1. But through their eyes, you're going to see how that villain's motivations are manifested, how the monster was created. And then it's in the year 2025, where most of our game takes place, you're going to see just what that villain is capable of. And more interestingly, you're going to have the background for this villain in a very intimate way. You're going to understand where his motivations are. And I think there's some conflict in there that and it was a challenge, that Dave Anthony really wanted to take on in terms of character development and storytelling in a Call of Duty game. So with Call of Duty Black Ops 2, we are going to have this element of branching storylines, and we talked about how with our new Strike Force modes, that is going to affect the story, but there's also going to be meaningful choice along the way in the game, and it's going to be done Call of Duty style. It's not going to come up at you in the middle of the game at a juncture and you choose A or B. That's not how we do it in Call of Duty. You're going to be right in the middle of the action, and there will be some very difficult choices to make. You'll be at a fork in the road, and you'll have to make a choice. And of course, if you don't make a choice, the game is going to play, and effectively you have made your choice. And there will be some very meaningful choices that you'll make that will have an effect potentially on whether certain characters might live or die, or the story arcs of the game.